Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, guys. Celtic Warband here, and I am bringing you my last second round series of battles. This will be between Max Laser and Moronic, and whoever wins this match will be fighting Gearhawk in the final battle. And thankfully, I'm so happy to say that this round of second round battles and the final battle will not be affected by the glitches of the Empire Divided DLC that came out, because the update wrecked most of the replays endings, as you guys I'm sure are aware. But these ones should be good because I recorded it after the update, so I think it should be alright. So yes, as I said, it's Max Laser versus Moronic, and just to keep in mind, all the rules are still the same. You can find them down in the description, except it's 14,000 now per player instead of 12,000, so the money is starting to climb. Let's go ahead and take a look at the first battle. Alright guys, welcome to the first battle in the round 2 series, Max Laser versus Moronic, and this one should be 100% accurate right to the last second, which is good. Moronic is playing as the Spartans, and Max Laser is playing as Galatia. So we got a good sword faction versus a good spear faction. We'll kind of find out how that turns out. So looking at Moronix, he's got 4 units of Helot archers in the front, way in front actually. Then looks like we got 4 units of Spartan pikemen here. We got some Royal Spartans again mixed in with some Spartan hoplites. And we got 2 units of Heroes of Sparta with the Royal Spartans as the general. And we got 4 units of Citizen Cav right in behind. And it looks like the archers are pretty far ahead, so I would probably be pulling them back. But Galatia, yes, so they are just starting to come into view here. So we got some mercenary Cappadocian cavalry. We got some noble horse here. Noble horse for the general, and another unit of mercenaries. We got some mercenary Syrian archers over pushing on this flank. We got, looks like 3 units does he have total? Or does he have one over here? Nope, that's pretty much it. And then for his main force, so he's got some levy freemen here. He's got some naked swords. He's got some Galatian noblemen, which are pretty much on the flanks. He's got some Galatian swords in the front. Then we got some Galatian legionaries, which look pretty sweet. Love how they're called legionaries. And yeah, more naked swords, more Galatian noblemen, and more levy freemen on the flanks. So let's go ahead and put this on to play. So it looks like we got the Galatian swords starting to move forwards, trying to push those Helot archers back to their main lines. The balance of power is actually in Max Laser's favor, because I am on the side of the Spartans. The Spartans are in a pretty tight formation as well. The Galatians are kind of looking to capitalize on that by really spreading in and around the flanks. And this citizen cavalry is not supported. So I think that Max Laser realizes that. He's going to try to zone out any reinforcement opportunities from coming over to help the citizen cavalry. But I think Moronic has that idea right now, so he's trying to pull his Heroes of Sparta over here to possibly move in. But it looks like the Galatians are pushing right up to the pikes, but not all the way in. And it looks like they're going to return, too. They're going to pull back, but that's really going to open them up to a lot of fire from the Helot archers. That is not a good sign. You don't want to be losing that many troops this early on in the battle. And we have a major deployment by Moronic over to this flank. As you can see, there is quite a large presence of Galatians over here. Basically, there's only a few units of Galatian swords in the center, and that is because Max Laser wants to avoid these Spartan pikemen at all costs. And over here, again, he's got about 5 units or so that will be pushing over onto this flank. I would try to get rid of that cavalry as quickly as possible if I could. But yeah, we've got the Heroes of Sparta charging forwards, but they are way out in the open with not much to support them. And the Galatian noblemen are just chasing them down. We've got some naked swords running past the camera there to support. And it looks like these Galatian legionaries are going to be tasked with holding the Royal Spartans and these Spartan hoplites up here, which is going to be a very daunting task indeed. But they are sworded infantry, so hopefully they will be able to hold for long enough. And look at this, these naked swords are actually already wavering. I think it's just to the Helot archers that are continually firing down on them. But we have some cavalry fighting over here as well. The mercenary Cappadocian cavalry is engaged against 2 citizen cavalry units. And over here we got the Levy Freeman also tying up another unit of citizen cav. And looks like we got some of the noble horse kind of flanking around. But yeah, look how quickly this is broken up, this little formation here. The Spartan pikemen are getting decimated by the archers, but at the same time, they're really effectively breaking the Galatian swords. But we got some pikemen kind of all over the place here. Got 2 units going to support this flank. But it looks like we're getting some good firing into the Spartan lines. Good thing the Spartans are very heavily armored, so they're not going to lose too many to Pila throws like that. And the general's bodyguard is over here as well. Oh, some good flanking fire by the archers as well. The Galatian legionaries are holding strong. And yeah, there we go. That is really good. He's firing right at the flanks of these Spartans. Yeah, so that's going to start to cut down their ranks a little bit there. And we got more Galatian legionaries here fighting the heroes of Sparta. And we got some Cappadocian cavalry still engaged with the heroes of Sparta. But yeah, the citizen cavalry, as you can see, is really starting to lose ground. And that's just going to free up so much cavalry over on this side. Although, at the same time, it looks like the Spartan infantry are really muscling down the Galatian infantry at the moment. But we got some painted warriors kind of surrounding this general on either side. For some naked swords, I should say. So now the general is in melee as well. Some Pila throws coming in from the Galatian legionaries, I believe this is. Yeah, so that's going to really give the naked swords a bit of respite, starting to cut down their numbers. And we are holding, well, Max Laser is holding pretty strong here against these Spartan hoplites, but Moronic's soldiers are just better. And it looks like these pikemen are kind of being kited, so Max Laser is throwing his Pila and then pulling back to a better advantage to throw again. And the pikemen are kind of just all over the place. They're trying to reinforce areas of the battle as best they can, but they can't chase after these Syrian archers, and they're just getting caught down as they try to move into melee. Luckily, though, it looks like the Galatian swords are being broken by the Helot archers over here, but now we've got some noble cavalry that will be able to destroy what's left of the ranged presence for the Spartans. They're not charging very fast, though. The general's really being focused down. Looks like the other unit of cavalry is going to silence most of them, though, which is good. So the general's doing very well in behind enemy lines. The balance of power is still pretty much dead even, though. But this general's really starting to kind of get caught up. Moronic will need to send some reinforcements over here quickly, because these Galatian legionaries are going to have a heyday against this spear unit. And looks like the pikes have finally returned over here. They've got 146 men still left. And look at this beautiful play by Moronic here, getting a unit right in behind these Galatian noblemen. So they will be flanked on all sides. But he needs to move quick because we've got another unit of Galatians that will be able to flank around. Nice Pila throws as well. It looks like, yeah, the flanker is being flanked right now. And we got the Spartan pikemen that are going to try to be pushing in. What else do we got over here? I think, oh, it looks like we got some Levy Freemen that are going to distract both units of pikes, it looks like. Wow. I would have just continued forwards with these Galatian legionaries, if possible. But then again, I'm not an expert at this game. very depleted unit of Galatian swords is set in behind the Royal Spartans. I'm wondering if he's going to try and push him in. But yeah, it looks like the flanks are starting to become wrapped up over here. Max Laser is really going to capitalize on the fact that he has cavalry. These poor heroes of Sparta are, you know, kind of flanked around on both sides here from two sworded units. They look pretty awesome, though, I do have to say. Where is his cavalry going over here? Oh yeah, looks like they're breaking the last of the Royal Spartans over here. I would start to bring my I'm sure Max Laser is going to start to bring his cavalry over to this side eventually, because this is where the majority of Moronic's forces are still left. And they're actually being slaughtered by these pikemen as they're held. This is perfect hammer and anvil tactics, so we got the anvil here, which is the Spartan hoplites holding these Galatian legionaries back, and then the hammer is the pikes just kind of pushing them, squeezing them against the hoplites. So these Galatians will probably die very soon, but we've got some cavalry coming in for the Galatians, charging into the backs of the hoplites there. And then they're going to just retreat, but it looks like these poor Galatian swords are going to be slaughtered. Oh, yep, right through his head there. And it looks like we got some actually fighting in behind the pikes over here, but they are starting to break. And we've got more of the Galatian legionaries forcing the Spartan hoplites back, but Moronic does push his pikemen in to defend his hoplites. And yeah, the battle is pretty much in a conclusion. Yeah, we've got some heroes of Sparta. They're still fighting over here. It says they're losing, though, so we're not going to focus over there. I think that unit will break eventually. Yeah, it looks like Braid's forces are starting to lose staying power here. And just with the fact of all the cavalry that Max Laser still has, like these noble horse units here. We got some Spartan pikemen that don't have their pikes out, and Max Laser is going to just get a nice charge into the sides of them. And that will probably break them, or at least drop the morale quite quickly. And we got some more mercenary Cappadocian cavalry moving in behind the Spartan pikemen here and Spartan hoplites. Yeah, and it looks like they have broken over there. They have. I'm sure this is going to be... Oh, actually, they're kind of going to make sure to get rid of this pike unit first, so they're just pushing it on both sides. Max Laser has to be careful of his general, though, because his general is fighting against pikemen, and they do still have their pikes out, even though they're not in formation. It looks like the Moronic is trying to redeploy some of his hoplites to block the backs of his pikemen, which is a smart move, because these Galatian legionaries can be easily routed by the pikes. We got some we got some of the mercenary Syrian archers in behind the pikemen here, but they're already starting to break. Oh no, they've rallied. Very nice. Oh, and they're getting some kills on the pikemen over here too. They're probably not going to get too many more though, that's for sure, now that the surprise attack is over. Yep, there they go. Cavalry is pulling back against the hoplites, and it's down to 3 units here. These Spartan pikemen are just getting cycle charged to death over here. Unfortunately, he just doesn't have enough units to really deploy them effectively. He has to kind of run them from one side of the battle to another. Here comes another charge from this Cappadocian cavalry. That wasn't a very good charge, though, so it looks like the Spartan pikemen managed to catch them quickly enough. But the general should be able to charge right into the sides of this Spartan pikeman unit. Yeah, because it's really not forming up very well. We've got the Galatian swords coming in behind to finish the job. And these poor pikemen don't know which way to turn. So yeah, looks like it's going to be a victory for Max Laser here. He has secured victory with his Galatians. I really like the fact that he chooses factions that aren't really popular, too. He was telling me before that he misjudged exactly how many battles were in this tournament, so he was kind of using, you know, less powered factions for the beginning ones, and then saving the best for last. But really, if he wins this next battle, or even if he does 2 more battles against Moronic, there's only 3 for the final. So he definitely could have used some bigger factions than this, but I like that he's using them because it gives a little bit of color to the campaign, or sorry, to the tournament. But yeah, so Moronic was defeated in the first one, so Max has 1 victory. If he wins another one, then he will be moving on to the final. But if Moronic can force a victory in the next battle, then we will go to a tiebreaker. So let's find out what happens next. Welcome back, guys, to the second part of this round 2 episode. We've got Moronic and Max Laser fighting it out once again. So if Moronic loses this last battle, then he is out of the tournament, and Max Laser will move on to the final. So with that in mind, Moronic has brought the Iceni, and he's pushing forwards to get rid of this skirmisher cavalry of Athens, which is Max Laser's choice for the second battle. So let's take a look at the Iceni. He's bringing a chariot unit over here. He's got some heroic riders. He's got some Levy Freemen here on the flanks. He's bringing some Britain skirmishers. Looks like 4 units of them. And he's got some heroic nobles in the back. Most of his lines consist of chosen spearband and chosen swordsband. I think he has 4 units of each. And he has another chariot and heroic riders for his general. Looking at Max Laser's force, he has brought 3 units of Thorax Hoplites, 3 units of Thorax Swordsmen. His general is a Pict Hoplite, and he has 3 units of Hippeus Lancers. Or does he have 4? No, because he has that Skirmisher Cavalry. That's right, so he's got 3 units of Hippeus Lancers. And we got some of these mercenary Thracian warriors. Got some mercenary Thracian Peltis and mercenary veteran Hoplites. So he's got mercenaries on his flanks, which is really cool. He's got more of the Thracian warriors, Thracian Peltis, and veteran Hoplites. He's got a Javelin unit over here as well. So interesting choice by Max Laser. He's bringing a Hellenic faction, but he has no pikes. That was the first thing that I noticed about this Athenian build. Now, mind you, it still is very powerful. These Thorax Hoplites are very good, and the swordsmen are as well. And not to mention these mercenary Thracian warriors. We've seen how good they are in the tournament. But he's bringing Peltis as well, so he's probably going to have to bring the fight to the Iceni. Aside from this skirmisher cavalry over here that he has, that's trying to take down the chariots. Looks like the heroic riders are trying to get rid of the skirmisher cavalry once and for all, but I think they're just a little bit too slow to catch the light missile cav. Oh, you might catch him there. Oh, it's pretty close. So yeah, looks like the 2 forces are kind of just holding back. They're really pushing that skirmisher cavalry to the red line, which is a good plan, but I wouldn't really waste the chariots trying to go after them. Skirmisher cavalry, to be honest, I really just ignore them as best as I can. Unless there's like 4 or 5 units, then it's really hard to. But if they just have 1... like I won't really try and commit all of my cavalry over there, because as you can see, they've already started to lose some of their numbers, and the chariots are quickly trying to get out of there as well. Although the skirmisher cavalry is probably trying to fire at them in the back. Yes, they are. So the chariots are starting to be whittled down over here, which is not a good sight to see. You don't really want to lose your chariots this early on in the battle. Moronic is bringing all of his skirmishes over here to get rid of the skirmisher cavalry from Athens, which is a good plan, I think. Fight the skirmisher cav with your skirmishers. But it looks like we're going to have a charge here. Oh no, quickly throw. That was a good volley, but he's still going to get into melee against all of these skirmishers. But aside from the charge, they're really not going to be able to get much done. You can see that the Britain skirmishers are still quite healthy, and the skirmisher cavalry for Athens is getting a little bit depleted. But other than that, there's only 8 minutes left in this battle, so it must be very fast once the main bodies start to move forwards. I think this skirmish cavalry is heading back behind their allied lines, and I think that Moronic is happy to let it go. He's redeploying his forces as well over here on this side. So I'm going to make a quick cut here, guys, and we'll come back once the melee has begun. Alright, so the battle has begun here. You can see that the Iceni is really pushing their chariots into the flanks, but just look at that. A ton of their chariots were just wiped out just like that. And the Hippeus Lancers are going to kind of close the jaws there. We got some heroic riders from the Iceni that are coming to the fight as well, but I don't think they're going to be able to save their chariots. They lost 7 chariots in that volley from the javelin men and the mercenary Thracian Peltis. Over in the center, though, it looks like it's a little bit of a slower approach. We could go ahead and put this on play. It might actually be faster that way. But here we go. We got some volleys moving in, and we got a nice battle line forming with the chosen spear band against the thorax hoplites. Let the melee grind begin. You gotta watch the Max has to watch the friendly fire though, because he's hitting a couple of his units in the back here with the thorax swordsmen as they throw their javelins in. But it looks like it's just an all-for-nothing type business here. Everything is kind of just being thrown in. How we looking on the flanks here? Looks like the Iceni are pushing forwards with their chariots and the heroic riders. But it's not looking too good. He really needs to win in the center here if he's going to scrape a victory out. The Hippeus Lancers are down to 8, though, so they're really getting cut down by the heroic nobles mixed with the levy freemen. Looks like the Hippeus Lancers are just surviving with a couple of soldiers. I don't think that they have many left, but I want to kind of go and see this melee grind over here. So the thorax hoplites are starting to lose a few soldiers here and there, and the general is actually pretty depleted, down to 23 men. Well, we got some levy freemen kind of running around, trying to catch the mercenary Thracian Peltis, but a good charge from the what's this cavalry called? The Hippeus Lancers again. Just wrecks them. Then again, levy freemen aren't really the best. But we got some Hippeus Lancers moving in around the flanks. Let's go ahead and jump into their point of view as they see the battle unfold. Looks like they're charging into some of the Iceni heroic riders there to keep them from moving anywhere else on the battlefield. But the Thracian Peltis have been broken, and it looks like the Thracian warriors have been broken, and it's all down to the Peltis here, but the chosen swordband are engaging them in melee. Over on this side, it's a pretty even fight in the middle, but on this flank, it looks like the Athenians are winning. And it looks like heroic nobles are trying to pull back. I think they see that the javelin men are in behind their lines, and they don't want to be fired in the back, so he's going to take the fight to them That was a nice volley there. Yeah, they're going to probably slaughter these javelins. There you go. But they're being pursued pretty quickly by the thorax hoplites. And how's the center battle looking again? Still pretty even. We've got the picked hoplites for Athens moving into melee now against the chosen spear band. And it looks like some of the Iceni troops are starting to withdraw. And oh no, we've got some cycle charges over here on this flank from the Hippeus Lancers as well. Yeah, that is going to rout the chosen sword band on this side. Or actually, maybe they'll steady themselves now that the Hippeus Lancers have pulled out. But they're just going in for charge after charge. Yeah, these poor Britons are fighting on two fronts here. Here we go. Looks like they're coming in for another charge. The Hippeus Lancers just so heavy. Yep. Really getting a lot of kills there, or at least knocking them down so that the mercenary veteran hoplites can get the kills. But yeah, those heroic nobles are breaking over here. We've got another unit of chosen sword band that is actually having a tough time against these Thracian peltasts over here, which is surprising. But the Athenians in the center are really starting to have some trouble. But the chosen sword band also very healthy, 121 men, and they are wavering as well. And look at this. We've just got Athens flanking right around with their mercenary Thracian warriors here. So it doesn't look good for Moronic here. And there's the charge. They're going... Oh, and that's it there. I think he admitted defeat or all of his troops broke. So, yes, that is the end. So, Moronic, thanks so much for playing, man. He's actually from Sweden, and he works quite a bit. So, when we were doing the battles, he was always 6 hours ahead of me. So, he was very tired. He probably could have played better if I had let him rest. But, again, thanks so much for joining. But yes, so now we have our two finalists. We've got Gearhawk versus Max Laser in the final battle. So hopefully you will join me for that, and you will find out who is the winner of the Empire Divided DLC. And if you guys enjoy this, be sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and I will see you in the next one.